Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and thanks. my name. Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy evening to watch me stumble my way through these improv talks here that I've just been really sad that I haven't been doing. You feel me? I wish I had a good reason to give you guys, but it's not been a fun time for me, and just sort of like there's well, it is what it is. Whatever. You guys really care to listen to me drag on about nothing for 20 minutes or so? I think that you might. So instead of going that way, though, we're going to save that till the end of the video. And tonight I want to talk about Tilly Norwood. All right. And if you don't know who Tilly Norwood is, it's probably because she's like not a real person. Quite literally, it's an artificial intelligence generated actress or actor, however we want to identify that term as. I mean, for the record, do women like to be called actresses or actors? Because I want to know. I want to be correct, all right? So that's all. Anyways, Tilly Norwood is in fact she's not a real person. She's an AI generated actor, and it's just kind of that time, I guess, in our contemporary history, so far as we know, at least, right? So where we get to talk about things like this, things that are going to be very impactful in the next handful of years, and things that impact actors and background talent and production crews and all different kinds of areas, right? I mean, essentially, it can be argued that all of what movies and entertainment is made from now currently can be made a lot cheaper and a lot easier with AI, right? And so it's that time. I keep saying it like that because for a long time there's been some speculation as to how this particular large language model would impact IRL jobs and so forth. I mean, directly, and in and of itself, entertainment and Hollywood is something that's going to be, in my opinion, I don't know what the future of Hollywood is. I want it to be great, you feel me? Because actually, I'm a fan of Hollywood. I think it's about as wonderful a place as you can make it out to be, right? Either you can be something that is good and like benevolent and understanding and all those other good things that people can have, as characteristics, or you can be super Epsteinish, and weird and tied into like P. Diddy white parties and stuff, you feel me? I mean, there's a flavor for everyone. It's really important to understand that joke, though, so much is that, like, it's more for P. Diddy than it is for the other aforementioned monster who also was very involved with, entrapping and or trying to, entrap, like, celebrities, you feel me? And so, in case you live under a rock, I'm just saying you should really do your research and look into these things. It wasn't just like politicians, you feel me, and international diplomats and stuff that were doing awful things. And again, just that's a different conversation, obviously, but actors and the future of Hollywood and that kind of sidebar. And I'll conclude with the fact that I personally, as your resident yours truly clown here, will always advocate on behalf of the arts so far as it concerns Homo sapiens. I guess if that's where we're going with this conversation, right? Because the arts will never die. Obviously, they will change inevitably, as they always do. But there's always going to be a demand for, clowns like myself and other entertainers and all the other really important people that work tirelessly to add intricate details into the kinds of things that we consume, notably and or namely entertainment. And, it might be filled with a little propaganda, it might be skewed a little American, right? But, I guess I wouldn't be a good American if I said I didn't like that wholehearted, good-natured propaganda when it is used as such, right? I'm not talking any like occult kind of things here or anything, but I'm just saying that I'm a fan of, the modern story, right? Where there is a hero and they go through something, right? And then they have to redeem themselves, and then ultimately they become the person that they were meant to be. I mean, you may call it like tirelessly, written literature mostly here in America in that same kind of token, but like it's not a bad story. There's nothing wrong with a hero. There's nothing wrong, and again, because it's symbolic of all of us, right? It's not like so self-centered and narcissistic like just towards that one person or whatever, but you see what I'm saying. At least that's like my interpretation of it. You feel me? And so art will always be alive. It's just, will it be profitable in the way that it has been in the last 100 years or so? I doubt it, right? I highly doubt it. And I say that because, well, I mean, in theory, if young actors and actresses wanted to say, let's say, for example, like lease out their likeness. And I know boomers and Xers, I've had this conversation with fellow professionals in this industry myself, and I gotta tell you, it may not be a popular opinion, but as an entertainer, I mean, AI, everyone, we're all listening here, again, I'm just dead serious on that. But I mean, okay, so if AI, like, sell my likeness, you feel me? I mean, you want me to star in your movie, 6 times a year? I understand that, like, I can do more as, a digital entity, and, or, like, just given the fact that I would give somebody my permission to, put me in a movie or something, given that, like, I guess it depends on the movie or whatever, I guess, or does it? I mean, again, where does the line draw itself when it's either AI stealing your likeness for free and, getting into, like, these crazy arguments into the future as to like what AI, used what voice or whatever. I mean, again, at this point, it's just sort of like, okay, how much is it going to charge? How much can I charge for, the entertainment industry, Hollywood specifically, to use my likeness? Okay, like that's kind of how I would approach this if I were under the age of 40, knowing that this industry is about to make an entire shift. Like, it's just going to pivot on over to a completely different direction. So far as earned income goes, and in like the last 30 years, we've seen the loss of like royalties, and residual income on some of these longer running shows that don't get broadcast on network television anymore and go direct to streaming. You feel me? So it's already impacted actors and actresses in the industry in all kinds of different ways. And it'll continue to do that. Tilly Norwood is a great example of something that should be accepted as we move forward into the future. Tilly Norwood is the first of many, the first of countless AI generated actors and actresses that will be gracing our screens, in whatever way the gracing of our screen will allow for. So I envision a future where AI, will be broadcasting the local news. I mean, again, where there's profit, people will inevitably, in this kind of iteration of Western capitalism, they'll go there, okay? And just so it's obviously a lot cheaper to not hire any real people at all and to just, give some prompts to an LLM and have them kind of use whatever it is that they use to generate what otherwise would be from that conventional old school style of shooting a film and gathering people together and spending a whole bunch of money and so forth. Again, it sounds tiresome, right? Making art, making a movie, making a series is some serious work, it's not just the pressing of a button. It's not just a handful of people in a computer room editing and chopping up some visuals to put down on like as a video. It's not that simple, and in fact that's kind of the beauty of it, is that it's very compartmentalized and in a good way. Unlike, hospitals, for example, the compartmentalization in the Hollywood industry is actually a really good thing. It ensures that time is taken at every step to give you the best kind of product available. And I don't think there's ever going to be a replacement for the observation from many dozens of sentient Homo sapiens, right? All in real time, as opposed to just like feeding data into a computer program, and again, what if we're all just a hologram, I mean, I'm just saying, it's just, there's something about creating this kind of art with so many different kinds of people and it being that compartmentalized to where you got to be good at what you do so that the people that are being paid to do what they're good to be good at are doing as good as they can. You see what I'm saying? So Tilly Norwood, again, is just something we'll have to learn to accept. So instead of pushing back, and trying to make this narrative where like we're advocating on behalf of Xers and boomers who are afraid that they're not going to have the same kind of quality of life as it concerns their specific career, right, and or profession. It's just sort of like, you got to wake up, and instead of like trying to fight the inevitable, just try and think of ways that you can like join the team. This isn't necessarily a bad team to be on. Again, there will always be a need and there will always be a demand for like flesh entertainment, from real people. This is not going to go away, and those people that continue to practice and hone their talents in the fine arts and in the theatrical, area of life, I think will be just fine. It's just not going to be the way that we've known it to be, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, historically speaking, films have generated billions of dollars, and actors and actresses, and the people that create these films still just get a small percentage of that, because the majority of all that income goes right on over to people that work in the studio and film industry but have nothing to do with the actual assembly of that product, right? And so it's just like anything else in life, in this kind of current world, with Western capitalism being at the forefront. This entire video, I'm trying to do all kinds of different things, in case you guys didn't know, all at once. These are improv talks. I take them real seriously. Tilly Norwood is a hot topic right now, and I think it's cool that Ryan Reynolds is making these commercials, finding people that are actually named Tilly Norwood, and then putting a disclaimer in the Mint Mobile ads that says that it's only available to, like real people or whatever. I think that was funny. And, it's people like Ryan Reynolds, obviously, like the lead actors and actresses in Hollywood, that if they continue to sort of play around with this narrative and not like take it too seriously, will be the best way, I think, to approach this really serious problem that has been protested. And the last I heard, I think the writers were on strike just a few years ago, and still to this day, the collective bargaining hasn't really got to the point where we're even talking about the inclusion of just leasing our likeness out to AI. And so, I don't know, interesting conversations, right? I don't know, interesting time. Let's act like I didn't go anywhere and this is just another day and me talking about nothing. I think it's okay for me to get out of character right now, so I'm gonna do that. Hey, listen guys, I really appreciate you watching my videos. I do. I wish that when I got out of character, like my voice could change, or I could have an accent, or something like that, but I'm not that special. Some say that I'm special. What are you thinking? God, the joke's here. Sometimes people think I go too far. I say I don't think I go far enough, but what is what it is. Nobody's paying me to give comedy down out into the fourth highest rated country for slavery and stuff like that. So shout out to all the comedians out there who sold themselves out this last month to go join the Prince of Saudi Arabia or whatever, Return of Jafar. I I don't know. I say that because it's like a cartoon, the way that the world is run. And yeah, there are villains, and yeah, I did just compare the Prince of Saudi Arabia to Jafar. So again, whatever, people call me Speedy Gonzalez. Let's not turn this into a racial thing, all right? I'm just saying that Jafar and the Prince of Saudi Arabia have a lot in common. They're both very evil people who live in a fictional universe that they call, like the Middle East. I'm just saying. Wow. All right. Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, like the guy is a terrible person, all right? And human rights violations are nothing to snicker about and or laugh about. And it's just factual to point out that Saudi Arabia is, currently one of the leaders in all of the world for slavery and impoverishment. So shout out to all those comedians who are literally taking money from I guess at this point, who else is giving money? I mean, only the fascists are giving out money right now, I guess. The fascists are the only guys that have money right now. They're all villains, and they're all equally as comparable to the cartoon characters that they portray in our unfortunate real-life universe. Okay, we're going on 16 minutes. I'm not trying to get back into character. I'm just trying to be clear as to some of the insults that I let go here on this channel so that I'm not, making it in any way that I'm not, all right? So, again, shout out to all the villains out there in the world. You continue to make this world a terrible place, and I just wish, we could all sit down and talk about how we can be a better people to everybody. So that's why I'm here every night, just kind of trying to remind everyone that there are some terrible people in this world, and they should be acknowledged as such, right? And the truth is the truth, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, I guess I would. I'd much rather have the truth be something more peaceful and organized and diplomatic. That's what I would prefer. Life's been going all right. I've been extremely busy sort of trying to figure out what I've got going on. Recently, I got a surplus of toys that I purchased, and I've been sorting through them as I then, after they're, sorted through, I post on my eBay store. So that's been fun. I joined this collectors group on Facebook recently. It has to do with old school media and stuff, and that's been keeping me interested, actually, more than I've ever been on Facebook in the last 20 years has been since I've joined this group. So and I don't even participate in anything. I just love watching everyone else post their hauls, and so that's good stuff. I'm pro haul. Yeah, you feel me? I'm a pro haul kind of a guy. My birthday's coming up, and that's fun. I'll be 64, and so I'm just kidding. I won't be 64. I know it looks like I'll be 64, but I promise I'm not. This beard has been something that continues to make me question my decisions in life. But I guess if it were that much of a big deal, I'd shave it already. So stop complaining, Albert. Anyways, yeah. So hope that you guys are doing really well again. And I wanted to just briefly talk about Tilly Norwood and all that stuff. And it's important that we have these conversations again, just because I understand again that it's a conversation that needs to be had before people feel some type of way about it that, they could have felt some other type of way about. And so just as a middle-aged aspiring actor myself, I gotta take note of all the realities in life, and AI is definitely a reality in my life, right? And in all of those other lives of working people that are under the age of 40, right? So I'm just saying, I hope that you guys have a really awesome night. Thank you for watching my show. I'm so sorry it's been a few days since I posted. I promise I can only try and do better. I know the last time I made a video, I was like gung-ho about making more videos, and then I didn't make any more videos, so hopefully that won't happen again. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Have a really good night. Thanks for watching my show, alright? Bye.